bucks depending on which ones you get.
Oh yeah, they're not cheap.
We just got back from Arkansas.
Oh yeah?
And a guy took his kid out on one smaller, and he rolled it in one of the deadliest rivers.
Ah, shit. Somebody just drowned down here a few weeks ago. It's a dangerous river. Howdy, howdy, folks. Welcome to the stream. We're just getting set up at the dock here. We're gonna head out in just a minute here and catch us some pike and see if we can maybe snag a walleye today. We'll see. How's everybody doing? Omar Farouk, welcome to the stream. How you doing, buddy? Thanks for stopping in. Welcome all those joining. We're just getting set up here. It's got the boat in the water and we're gonna head over here and I think we're gonna anchor up and see if we can snag a pike. And then after we get our pike, we might see if we can go get into the walleye today. We didn't have any luck on walleye yesterday, but we did get a really nice pike out of here. It's gonna get a little bit loud if y'all get motion sickness. Bear with me for about 3 to 5 minutes and we'll be over at our anchor spot. Appreciate the thumbs up, y'all. Hope everybody's having a wonderful, what are we today, Sunday? Sunday afternoon. I forget what day it is sometimes. We're just headed over to a spot I'm gonna anchor up over here where I usually catch pike. Omar says I'm from Bangladesh. Well, welcome, Omar. We're streaming from central Montana here in the United States. We're on the Missouri River, and our target species for today is Northern Pike and Walleye. RFA, do I support LGBTQ? I support people doing whatever the hell makes them happy. As long as you ain't hurting nobody else, then I don't care. Life's too short to bother with what other people are doing. Jeff's YouTube, welcome to the stream. Hi from Scotland, welcome. Got a lot of people in here from across the globe. We're streaming here from central Montana in the United States. We're on the Missouri River. Beetle the Magnificent, welcome back to the stream. How you doing today? I apologize for the noise and the shaking. We're just headed over to a spot to anchor up and we're gonna get a pull in the water and see if we can catch us a monster pike today. So plug your ears for a minute, it's gonna get loud, but it'll be about 2 minutes and we'll be there. We're gonna switch the camera around so you guys can see in front. And we will be there in just a moment, guys. Heck yeah, Beetle, welcome back. Jacob, welcome to the stream. Sorry for the noise. We'll be anchored up in just a minute here. We're just headed to the bridge here. Chris, welcome to the stream. Just got back from Lake Nipigon. Got a 40-inch pike. That is a monster, my friend. Congratulations. Miyazaki, welcome to the stream, Miyazaki. Everybody, this is my other half. This is my girlfriend, Miyazaki. Everybody say hi. Alright, we're going to anchor up over here. This is kind of my spot for pike here in the Missouri River. And we caught a 8-pounder, a 31-incher yesterday. I have pulled a 42-inch out of here a couple of years ago. So there's some big pike in here. And there's, 28, 30-inch walleye that lurk in these waters. We got rainbow trout, brown trout. Something just surfaced right there. I don't know if y'all saw that. But appreciate the thumbs up, y'all. Hope everybody's having a wonderful Sunday afternoon. We are almost to the spot here. Ooh, there's some bubblies. I like to see the bubblies. Bubblies in the water are nice. I like to hit those up. Oftentimes I can pull a pike out of bubbles. But give me a minute here. We're going to get anchored up. Well, I didn't go quite far enough here. Ouch! Ah, the not so funny bone. Oh, actually, this spot should work. We'll just toss her down here. If need be, we'll move in a little bit. Get out of the bucket. Oops. Alrighty, anchor's up, and we are going to be fishing here in just a moment. Bryant, welcome to the stream. How you doing today? RFA said, is it hot out there? It actually is. I probably should have ducked under the bridge here. It's going to be a little toasty. Chris Norlock said, beauties. Yeah, I love pike. Big pike are my absolute favorite to target. What boat is that? It is a 16-foot aluminum Weld-Tech John boat. It's a big old fish that just surfaced behind us. Not sure what that was. Alrighty. We're going to start off today. It's fairly shallow water here. All right, I'm gonna turn my camera around here. All right, so we're fishing with, and most people would not be fishing with this for pike. I use this pole for everything. So we're fishing with our Ugly Stick Carbon. It's a medium light fast action. It's a pretty lightweight pole. It's paired with the Piscafun Carbon X2 1000 series. Really lightweight rod. Got 30-pound braid on, a 60-pound fluorocarbon leader, and I believe this is a X-Wrap, Rapala X-Wrap. We just busted this one out of the package. I have not yet caught a fish on it. We're gonna toss her and see if the pike are interested. Beetle, 16-inch. No, did I say 16-inch? 16-foot. Bear with me. My brain is a little mush sometimes. Josie, welcome to the stream. How you doing? All right, but we are in the water. We pulled a really nice pike out of this spot yesterday. We missed another really nice pike, and then we just at the end of the stream we pulled a slime noodle out about 12 inches, one of the cutest little pike I've ever seen in my life. But we will see if we can manage to pull another one out here today. This spot's usually fairly productive for me. There's some big fish in here. Thanks for the thumbs up, y'all. That really helps bring some new people into the stream. Go ahead, smash that like button. Do me a favor. Where's everybody from? What's everybody up to today? One more like, thank you. AJ, welcome to the stream. I feel like it's going to be a good day fishing. I meant to get out here on the water earlier, but I slept in. I didn't get much sleep last night. I stayed here fishing from the bank after we had to take the boat out of the water. Didn't catch anything. But it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon here in central Montana, so we got 6-8 hours of fishing if we feel like it. But these waters here, I don't usually catch a lot of fish when I fish here, but I do usually catch quite quality fish. There's big old pike, big old walleye, big browns, really big, nice browns. Nice rainbow trout. There's a ling in here. There's just so many different fish that you can pull out. Bullhead catfish, yellow perch, white sucker, common carp. 570 PA Angler, welcome to the stream, my friend. It's going wonderfully. We just got the boat in the water. The stream's just starting. It's a little toasty out today. It was yesterday too, but it cooled off fairly quickly. Hoping we can land another good-sized pike today. Alan Malone, welcome to the stream. Welcome back. Yeah, Robert James, welcome to the stream. Yeah, there's a lot of different stuff you can pull out of the Missouri here. And I'm just kind of fan casting around here. This lure is a little undersized. Normally I'd be using something a little bit bigger. I saw it in the tackle box and I was like, hey, I haven't thrown that one yet. Let's see. I know that the X-Rap, a lot of people use them for pike and muskie. I've never really thrown an X-Rap. Just a little guy, a little brown trout. A little undersized, but ling, they're also known as burbot. They're a really weird fish. I've never caught one before. They are in here. Normally people catch them at night, but they're it's like if you mixed a tadpole with an eel. They have like a fat head on them and then kind of like this weird skinny tail. Really bizarre looking fish. Supposedly they're really good eating. I've never eaten one though. The warm one today in PA. Oh yeah. I don't know, it's a little toasty here. I think we're in the 80s. It's not too bad. Yesterday when we got here it was about 90. But I think it's supposed to cool down here. It was looking like it was going to storm about a half an hour ago. It's looking quite nice now though. Be right back Googling ling. Yeah, ling or burbot, B-U-R-B-O-U-T. When they're small, they look more like an eel. When they get bigger, it's like the head gets super fat on it. They're like a giant tadpole, like a giant mutant tadpole. Yeah, I'm not feeling this lure. Let's switch to my go-to here. We'll throw the Bandit 100 here for a few. Let's switch this guy out. And actually, I have a a Bandit 200 handy. This one dives just a little bit deeper. It's a shallow diving crankbait. They have this unique body style. It's, you know, the fat at the front and short at the back, and they just have a nice little waggle in the water, and they have an integrated rattle in it. I often fish them. So you'll want to use something that the max dive depth on it is about the max depth of where you're fishing. You want this guy to tick off the bottom occasionally. You don't want to drag it on the bottom, and you don't want to be going, you know, a foot or 2 foot above the bottom. You want it ticking off the rocks, off the weeds, off the mud. It kicks up clouds of dirt and mud and causes kind of a commotion, which brings the pike in. The pike like the crazy. They like the commotion. They want to see what it is. And then when you do a pretty erratic retrieve with it, they think whatever it is going to get away from them, so they bite it to see what it is. If they don't like it, they'll spit it out. But if you can get them to bite it, you can get them. But these lures, Bandit 100, Bandit 200 in the pearl white with the red eyes, is one of my favorite northern pike lures here in central Montana. It has produced more pike for me over the last few years than any other lure that I own. And they're fun to throw too. They have a unique movement. You can feel the movement. You can feel them ticking off the bottom. And that's one of the reasons I do like to use the medium light fast action pole rather than one of my heavier poles. When I'm throwing cranks, I like to be able to feel what that lure is doing. When I hit bottom, I want to feel bottom. When it's, you know, when it gets tangled on itself and it's, you know, not right, I want to be able to feel that. And you can feel everything with these lighter poles. Biggest fish I've pulled in on this guy is about 18.5 pounds. So they're, for a light action pole, they're pretty indestructible. They're good. Sebastian, welcome to the stream. I always wanted to catch a smallmouth buffalo on the Missouri. I've never caught a smallmouth or a largemouth buffalo. They're in here though. Oftentimes though, I think they're in, I know they're in here, but there are more of them in our lakes, I think, lakes and reservoirs. But I was reading about them the other day. Did you know that the smallmouth and largemouth buffalo are the longest living freshwater species on the planet? And that the largemouth are apparently getting, because they live so long, their reproductive cycle is very slow, and they're becoming endangered in the United States. I never knew that. The population is dwindling on them. .570 says, I was out for about 3 hours this morning for carp, had more turtle action than anything. Yeah, sometimes the turtle are a giant pain in the butt when you're carp fishing. I have that happen more often when I chum the waters around where I'm fishing. I stop chumming, especially at the local ponds. It brings in too many dang turtles. And they're a nightmare trying to get off your line. But sorry to hear that. You didn't have good luck. You just got to keep at it. Alan Malone says, yeah, they're crazy looking. Oh, you went and looked up the burbot? Yeah, the smaller ones, they remind me of an eel. The big ones, I look at them and I'm like, why? It's like a freaking mutant tadpole. They're just bizarre looking. I've heard they're absolutely excellent to eat though. Seems like a lot of extra hardware on the line. Yes and no. I mean, a lot of people tie directly to their lures. I change lures too often, and I've never found that the extra hardware really scares any fish away. But we'll go through it here real quick. So we have our 30-pound braid, which is our main line. I always use a bead. It serves three purposes. It's one, it's an attractant. Two, it protects your knot. And three, it protects the tip of your pole. Oftentimes your eye on your swivel will fit in the end of your eye, The leader, we're fishing for pike. It's a necessity. You need a leader. If you want to land your fish, especially the big pike. Braid has wonderful tensile strength. Oh God, I hooked myself in my pants here. So it's got good strength pulling, very poor shear. So a sharp tooth from a pike will cut your line. But that's it. It's not a whole lot of hardware. That's what I use. Oh shit. Hold on, guys. Hi guys, thanks for letting me know. This mic, normally I'm wearing my GoPro mount and it hooks nicely to it. When I'm not, it like goes into my shirt, and I think that's maybe why you guys can't hear me. Can you hear me better now? Give me a thumbs up. Thank you. All right, let's get back to fishing here. But this spot here, I love it for pike. They seem to really like structure. And when I troll for pike, I usually go for deep waters. When I'm throwing cranks, when I'm actually stopped and casting, I tend to go for the shallows. All right, thanks guys. Appreciate those thumbs up, guys. Hope everybody's having a great day today. Oof, I really wanted to get out on the water early today. The pike bite is really good around here, from like 5 o'clock in the morning to 7 or 8. It kind of dies off in the heat of the day like we're at right now. We should still be able to get some action. It just might be a little bit slower. But we're just kind of tossing her around. I am marking quite a few fish on the fish finder here. We're in fairly shallow water right now. We're sitting above 8 foot, and then we got some pockets around me that are 10, 12 foot. So a little bit of variance. Do you fish walleye? I do fish for walleye. I'm not a great walleye fisherman. I've been trying to learn more about walleye. I did manage to pull, it was just under 30 inches. 30 inches and about 6.5 or 6.8 pounds. Good Lord. Last year from here, they're in here. There's nice big pike in here. Or excuse me, walleye. All right, give me just a minute, guys. It's hot, I need a drink. I'm gonna bust out one of my lure boxes here. Yeah, there are lots of walleye fishing opportunities around central Montana. This area of the Missouri is absolutely littered with them. I've never gotten all that great at catching them here, though. We're learning. Last year I got one off of, I was trolling using a bottom bouncer and about a 5 foot fluorocarbon leader, and this Kalen's search bait lure. It's like a spinner that's got a slow death hook on it with a leech on the end of it. Tremaine. Well, this tackle box is not all that much to look at. It's basically a whole bunch of the same lure. You can tell I like this. These are all Bandit crankbaits, different sizes, different colors. I'll bust her open. We will show this to you once, Tremaine. If you come in here again asking for it, we're not going to tell you again. I know you were in here last stream and you came in like 5 different times asking to see the tackle. That's what we're fishing with right now, is Bandit series crankbaits. And they are They're not as popular of a brand as, you know, Rapala and Berkeley, but they're actually quite low cost compared to, I mean, a Rapala, you're going to pay 15, 16 bucks for a lot of their cranks. The Bandits are like 8 bucks. They're cheap. And this time of year in summer when you're throwing cranks, I found them to be one of the most productive lures in this area. That boy Mason, welcome to the stream. Tremaine, I'm trying to fish here, not show off my tackle boxes. Amy Lee just got in. What are you fishing for? We are fishing in the Missouri River in central Montana. Our target species for today is Northern Pike and Walleye. We fished the same spot yesterday and we pulled a really nice pike out of here. It was about 31 inches, a little over 8 pounds. A couple of years ago out of the same spot, I pulled a 42 incher. It was a little over 22 pounds. So there's some monsters in here. Mason, I will tell you right now, anyone who's in my live that's asking for mod will never be made a mod. I mod people who are consistently in the channel and hang out and chat and are good people, and if you're going to be in here constantly asking for mod, I'm not going to give it to you, man. But I appreciate you stopping through and hanging out. My channel, I don't really need a lot of mods. We don't have a lot of drama on the channel, but yeah, I'm not slanging mod around everybody asking for it. Someday you may just see that your name turns blue. That's how modding in my channel works. It's all good. But welcome to those joining. We are trying to get on the pike here. Yesterday we pulled that hog right off of the bank over here. Sometimes they're on the bottom, sometimes they're in the super shallows. They like to hang out by the pylons here near the bridge. Yep, Suffolk's Advanced. It's the 832, 835, 30 pound. I use Suffolk's on all of my rods. Even the trolling rod back here, I use the Suffolk's Advanced leaded line. Good stuff. It's a little pricey. It's more expensive than a lot of the other brands. For years I used spider wire, and I didn't like it. I had a lot of issues with wind knots and it breaking, wearing prematurely. Ever since I've switched to the Suffolk's, I've loved it. I swapped all my poles over to it. Oh, stop getting tangly here. Yeah, it's about the only braid that I'll use on my lines. And I do use a lot of their fluorocarbons too for leaders. Like if I'm tying trout rigs or drop shot, I really like their fluorocarbon as well. Suffolk's Elite Mono is great for pitching jigs. I haven't used, honestly, mono since I was, in my teens. I switched to braid years and years ago. I lost too many fish using mono, and mono has such a line memory. The twists stay in it. It wouldn't be bad, I guess, for your leaders and stuff like that. Your drop shot rigs. Fluoro or mono is pretty comparable in that respect. But for my main line, I run braid on everything. Ben Brisker, welcome to the stream. How you doing today? How long have you been fishing for, Amy asks. We've been live for about 30 minutes, so fishing for about 20. And I do see there's quite a few fish that are coming up to the boat I can see on the finder. Seems like they always come to check out what the weird shiny floating thing is in above them. But we're gonna stay in this spot maybe an hour or two and cast around this structure, which is a lot longer, I know, than a lot of y'all people would stay in a spot. I know this spot is productive. I've caught lots of fish out of here, and I don't mind sitting around and waiting for them. After a couple hours, if we don't have any action, we'll run upstream here. There's a couple of other holes that I know that the walleye like to hang out in. And we may possibly do some trolling later on this evening as well when it starts to cool down. James, where are you fishing? We're in central Montana. This is in Great Falls, Montana on the Missouri River. Jake, welcome to the stream. How are you today, bud? Love Montana. Yeah, Montana's great. It's one of the prettiest places, I think, in the United States. And there's such vastly different different landscapes here. You know, we go from the high mountains, foothills, we got plains. Yeah, there's just so many different climates here. So many different types of terrain. All right, we got a boat passing. The camera's gonna rock a little bit here. RFA, is it hot out there? Yeah, it's a little toasty. I think we're in the mid 80s right now. It's not too bad. I wish the clouds would come back though. When I was driving here, the skies were all overcast and it looked like it was going to be beautiful. And I pulled up and dropped the boat in and all the clouds are gone. So now we're just baking in the sun. Appreciate those thumbs up, guys. Thank you. And if y'all like fishing content, you like live streams, if you like underwater camera footage, go check out the channel. I got some pretty cool underwater camera footage that I've been starting to post. We got a new toy a few weeks ago, and I've been using it while trolling for Northern Pike. Man, there's some crazy stuff that goes on in the water when your lure's out there. It's fun to see, you know, all the fish that are biting at it, biting at the camera, following it. There was one lure that I was throwing that attracting whole schools of perch that were going after it. Really cool footage though. And I'll be posting a ton more content like that here over the course of the rest of the fishing season here and next year. You've been to Wyoming. I have been through Wyoming. I did a job once in Wyoming. I forget where we were at. But I just remember it. I was back in the day. I used to do flooring installation. And my buddy and I were driving in the work van to the job site. And he made a comment, something along the lines of Wyoming, where every county smells like a different shade of brown. I don't know, y'all have the hot springs and stuff out there. We drove through some really foul smelling places there. Beautiful state though. I love the scenery, the terrain. We just had felt like something smacked the lure here. Wasn't a good bite, but something's following it. And again, right now we're just kind of fan casting. I'm not casting towards anything in particular. We're not really looking at the train. I'm not really paying attention to the fish finder. This water, it's not super clear, but it's clear enough that the pike, they have pretty good visibility. They can see for, you know, 20, 30 plus feet. So we don't need to drop stuff right in their lap. As long as we can get it within their line of sight, they oftentimes will come and check it out. Little Big Queso, welcome back to the stream. Catch going good? We just started, bud. We've been fishing for a little under 30 minutes. Haven't had any fish yet. Did have just one bite a couple of casts ago, it felt like. Do you bass fish? I'm a terrible bass fisherman. I catch bass every once in a while, but it's never been a species I've been able to consistently catch. Pike is kind of my go-to. Pike and carp are really my two species that I specialize in, that I really target most often. I've been getting better at trout fishing, walleye fishing. Bass fishing is still kind of a bit of an enigma to me. I don't know. They seem so picky. There is a local pond here by Vaughan, Montana called Largent Bend that I stream from occasionally. And I do catch largemouth bass there every once in a while. When I go catfishing down below Moroni Dam on the Missouri River here, I pull out smallmouth bass from time to time. But they're not high on my priority list, though I would like to get better at fishing for them. What lake you fishing? This is actually the Missouri River in central Montana. And actually, what you're looking at over here, let me pull this line in and I'll pan it over a little bit. We're sitting on right by the confluence of two rivers. The Missouri River, the river we're on, and the confluence of where the Sun River flows into the Missouri River. And it's kind of cool because the Sun River's, this stretch of it is pretty murky. It looks like chocolate milk. And the Missouri River here is not ultra clean, but it's definitely not chocolate milk. And you can see where the two rivers come together. There's like a distinct line where chocolate milk meets, you know, not chocolate milk. Howdy, bud. Having any luck? No? Yeah, this is one of them spots where I get skunked more often than not, but there's some monsters in here. Pike right now. Yeah. Yeah, I've caught a couple of really big walleye down here, but they were happy accidents. I wasn't really targeting them. I usually come here for the pike. There's 22, 23 pounders that come out of here. Have you? Just watched your big rainbow video off the dock, sick vid. Oh yeah, that was a spot that I just recently started fishing. It's called Willow Creek Reservoir. There's some nice rainbows in there. Especially for fishing from the dock. I was just dinking around. I was looking for somewhere to stream from. Unfortunately, there was only one bar of service there, so not enough to actually stream. But yeah, good fighting trout. There's a guy there that was telling me that they're Kamloop trout, and I don't know if they're actually Kamloop, but that fish, all of them, fought like no other rainbow I've ever caught in my life. Super fun. RFA, you're a cool dude. Do visit Wyoming when you're free? Yeah, here in the next 5 years, I'm planning on retiring, and we'll hopefully be doing some traveling around the states and possibly around the world to do fishing. I'd like to kind of do stuff like Jeremy Wade. You know, river monsters, just travel around to all the different places in the world where the scary big fish are. But I appreciate that, RFA. Thank you. Oh God, I'm gonna have to pull the boat under the bridge here. The sun's giving me a headache. She's toasty. We'll do a few more casts and then I'm gonna anchor up and just pull 20-30 feet up in front of us so I can get a bit of shade. Rugby Life, does anybody have any tips? I was sorting out my hooks and it's just gone through my finger. Oh man, is it like stuck? Is the barb in the finger or all the way through? Sometimes getting it all the way through is the easier way. And then you just take some side cutters and cut it off. Let me see here, I'll pull it out. I see people all the time, they do a trick that they tie line around it and yank. And I tried that the last time I had a treble hook stuck in me and yeah, nah. It did not work like it was supposed to. Hold on. So if your hook has penetrated all the way through and you're actually hooked and the barb is free, find yourself some side cutters, dikes, some cutters, and just cut that barb off, cut the other side off, and then you're just pulling smooth metal out. You got to get that barb off though. The last one that I got hooked up with, well, I should say not the last one, the time before the last one that I got hooked with, I got hooked in the forearm and that barb was just buried in my arm. And I tried for a good half an hour to get it out myself. I had my son trying to help me, I had the girlfriend trying to help me, and finally I just took a razor blade and just carefully opened it up enough that I could, you know, peel it out. But if it's almost all the way through, I'd honestly just grin and bear it and poke it the rest of the way through and then cut the barb off. What kind of boat you got? It's a 16-foot aluminum John boat. It's a Weld Tech brand. It's just an old janky flat bottom John boat. I picked it up a few years ago for a really good price. Ooh, there was something else smacking at it. Bite it. Bite it. Or don't. Got a Bass Tracker 125. Nice. Yeah, this is I think a 1648. Decent little boat. It's been beat to hell, but I got a real good deal on it, and it's been a good little boat. I take this thing all over the place. I'd honestly, as much as I would like to have a brand new nice boat, I take this thing in some pretty rough places and it gets dents and dings, and I'd feel sad if I got a dent and a ding in a brand new shiny boat. I'm all right with beating this one up. Somebody already beat the crap out of it before I owned it, so, oh, god damn it, there was another one I just missed. They're in here, they're biting. This is the same spot. I'm gonna laugh if I pull that same 8-pounder out. Where I'm casting right now is right where I pulled him out of yesterday, or her out of yesterday. She's a big old fat female. Rugby just dripped it out. Does anyone know a way to cover it? If it hurts, use a Band-Aid, dude. We don't need the play-by-play. I'm sorry you hooked yourself. What did I miss here? Now, Just rugby giving a play-by-play. Yeah, we don't need that. Now Google, look up on YouTube though. There's supposedly an easy way you can get them out using just a piece of fishing line and yanking on it right. I either wasn't doing it right or it's BS, but I couldn't get it to work. They're trolling. Yeah, probably. I'm not gonna make a big deal out of it though. We're here fishing, we're having a good time. People can tell their tall tales. I'm not gonna get bent out of shape about it. And I would appreciate it if y'all didn't either. Make an Amazon wish list. I need to get you set. What are you talking about, man? Y'all don't need to buy me anything. You want to do? Oh God, these people in these speedboats, they're so loud. No, I don't need gifts from y'all. While I do absolutely appreciate the sentiment, you want to help me out, you want to do something nice for me, go sub to the channel, hit the like button. Help get some more people in the stream. I fish and I stream for the fun of it, not for the money. I've been fortunate in life. I'm fairly well off. I don't need donations. I don't need gifts. But those thumbs up, those help me. I like that. People going and hitting the sub button, that helps me. I like that. I like to share my fishing experiences with people. Let y'all live vicariously through me. And hopefully catch you some big fish. But whew, alright, this is last cast. I gotta move into the shade here. I'm sweating bullets. I need to dig in my bag and find a ibuprofen too. My head's going wah, wah, wah. Alright. Toasty. Bear with me for a moment, guys. I'm going to anchor up and then we're just going to tootle up under the bridge here about 50 feet. Welcome to those joining the stream. Hope everybody's having a wonderful day. We're just moving the boat just a little bit up here to get out of the sun. I'm dying in the heat here. She's a toasty. Seems there's not much bass in your area. There are some bass ponds. In the rivers and the lakes, it's mostly smallmouth. We do have a handful of ponds. Good Lord, that's a lot of smoke. But we do have a handful of ponds around here that have largemouth bass in it. But yeah, it's not a huge species here in Montana. Oh, that feels so much better. All right, gonna drop anchor again, guys. Give me a moment. Oh, shut up. I know I'm in shallow water. But that being said, there are some nice bass here. I mean, we don't have monsters for state record. It's not like down in Texas where y'all got 13, 16, 17 pound bass. But the local pond that I stream from sometimes, I've seen people catch, you know, 5-6 pounders, which again is not a monster, but they're decent. Pesca, welcome to the stream. Catch up here. Max Blake, turn donations on. I want to do something. I'm not monetized on the channel yet, Max Blake. I need a ton more watch hours. If you guys want it, that's something you guys could help me with. You want to help? Go watch my videos. Go put one of my videos on and let it stream while you're sleeping, while you're brushing your teeth, whatever. That's the hardest thing for YouTubers to get to monetization, which I'm not really trying for. But it takes, you have to have like 4,000 hours of watch time to get monetized. 3,000 if you want to enable people to donate. But no, I'm not worried about that. Hit the like button, go subscribe. That's all I need from you. That's all I want from you. And to hang out and chat. Will me some big fish into existence. That's what we're here for. We're here for the fish. Manuel, happy fun Sunday fun day. Deborah Pott, welcome to the stream. Want to drink some water? It will help your headache. Yeah, I should. I think I have some apple juice in the cooler and Mountain Dew. I need to grab an ibuprofen out though. In fact, let me do that before I forget. Shout out to all my fishermen out there. Appreciate it. Heck yeah, Manuel. Bonjour, welcome to the stream, Full Toss. Full Toss, interesting name. We always do it bigger in Texas. Yeah, y'all have some monster freaking bass genes down there. I don't know what y'all are feeding them. Y'all have mutant bass though. John Fishing TV, welcome back to the stream, my buddy. Fishing with Boca and Ray. What state are you in? First of all, welcome to the stream. We're fishing from Central Montana. Vishai, hi bro, from India. Welcome to the stream. We're in Central Montana. And we're fishing for monster pike and monster walleye, which are both right here in these waters in the Missouri River. Catching Biggins TV, grab the camera from Lamar Jackson edit. What is? I've never even seen one of these Lamar Jackson edits. Been hearing about it for the last month, and I can't tell you how many times people have asked for that. I have no idea what y'all are talking about, but I will grab your screen. There's fish in Montana? There's a few, yeah. Montana is a real place. If you close your eyes and squint just right, it's definitely real. No, bro, of course Montana's real. What are you talking about? I love catching them bull reds. I have no idea what a bull red is, my friend. What's a bull red? You mean a bullhead? Sue Vaughn, welcome to the stream. How you doing today, Deborah Pott? I haven't seen you in my stream in a while. Manuel, the only thing bigger is debts and expenses. True that. Texas is broke. What is the Lamar I don't know. There's some TikTok meme or something. They ask you to grab the screen and then they make a compilation of it. I don't freaking know. I don't keep up with all the crazy stuff kids are doing these days. I will say though, man, there was somebody in my stream last night. I don't want to call him out, but he's got a fishing channel as well. And I subbed to him last night and was checking out his content, and he's like he looked like he was maybe 12, 13 years old. Man, that kid is killing it. His shorts, 65,000 views, 50,000 views. He's got, almost 1,000 subscribers. I don't know how the hell they do it, these kids these days. They know what people want to watch, I guess. I'm over here posting a video. It takes me 8 hours to make a long form content video, and then I get like 20 views off of it. Like, damn, that's rough. Did the 4 o'clock dinner bell already ring? No, we are 2:55. The dinner bell is coming up. Ooh. Oh, dang it. They're right here. He smacked it, but he didn't grab it. Who are we talking about? I'm not gonna call him out, but good channel. Good, cool looking content. Maybe I'll mention it if he comes back in. 94 in Michigan. Good God, man. No, thank you. Bob Comanche, I should get serious about vid making. It's a fun process. I have fun editing the videos. It's not something I've ever really done. There's a definite learning curve to it. But I'm lazy. What's your temperature over there today? It's probably mid to high 80s. I'm waiting for, when I was driving here, the clouds were out and it looked like it was going to be so nice. It felt like it was like 75 out. By the time I got the boat in the water, all the clouds were gone and it's back up to, mid to high 80s. Not super bad, but it's bad enough that I don't like sitting in the sun. That's why we're hiding under the bridge right now. You guys can probably hear the cars going over top. Black drum. We don't have those here. We have freshwater drum here in the Missouri. I haven't caught very many of them. I don't know, half a dozen or so over the last few years. Cool looking fish though. I don't understand how they tangle like this. There we go. 50 pounds? Good Lord. Yeah, I caught a fish last year that was about 50 pounds. Had him all the way to the bank. Big old common carp. But lost it trying to wrestle it into the net. So it doesn't really count as a catch. Caught some pretty big freshwater drum in Michigan. Yeah, though, I don't know what our state record is here for them. The ones that I've caught, I mean, they're like, a couple of pounds. They're not that big. Yeah, that sounds fun as heck, though. 50-pound drum. Sign me up. Let's go. Now, what I'm truly after, I want to get a 50-inch pike. That is my ultimate goal. Or a 50-inch tiger muskie. I'd settle for a 50-inch tiger muskie too. There are in so few water bodies here in Montana. I do go out a few times every year trying for them. I had about a 30-incher next to the boat last year, but lost it. It's rough fishing alone trying to net big fish. Especially when you're trolling, you're moving in the boat, and I've lost some really good fish just because I messed up the netting, dipped too soon, or the worst is when you get the fish or the hook stuck to the outside of the net. I've done that so many times. I think you're pretty much SOL. Forever fish on forever tight lines is my quote. Heck yeah. Dwight Barons, welcome to the stream. Stream on Twitch, but just strictly fishing content. Who knows, you might blow up. A lot of people into fishing, I'd hope. I've had multiple people tell me I need to do Twitch or TikTok. And I'm struggling to keep up trying to, post content just on YouTube. I would love to cross over and do other platforms. There aren't enough hours in the day, my friend. I'd need to get somebody that would, manage the channels and edit and post stuff for me, and right now I don't have anybody that really wants to do that. Manuel says, good luck out there. Appreciate that, man. Sir, can I please see your big rod? That ain't the rod we're talking about. This is the rod we're talking about. And she ain't a big rod. She's a lightweight, nimble. It's a ugly stick, carbon. It's my favorite pull, my go-to pull for almost anything I'm doing. It's a medium light fast action. I believe it's a 6'8" or 6'10" rod. It's paired with the Pisca Fun Carbon X2, which is a super lightweight rod. So the whole thing, the rod and reel combo itself are under a pound. It's just super lightweight, super sensitive. But these ugly sticks, they're durable as hell. I have pulled in, you know, upwards of 20-pound fish on these things, and they handle them no problem. And the reels, it's a cheapo brand off of Amazon. I started buying their stuff last year, and I really like them. There are these, I mean, a $50 reel feels better than a lot of my, you know, $200+ reels. Ugly sticks are solid. They're one of the few rods that I have fished with that they're damn near indestructible. I can't tell you how many times I have stepped on the poles here, bent the eyes over, like almost completely over, and you just bend them right back. The pole's fine. I bank fish a lot. You know, they get tossed in the mud. They roll around in the back of my truck. I pull them out and they're good to go. This rod, I think retail, it's about $100. You can get them on sale though, usually for around $60. Wait for one of the holidays, Father's Day, Memorial Day, 4th of July, Christmas, whatever. Most of the sporting stores, as well as Amazon sellers, you'll get, you know, 40% off, 35% off discount codes during holidays. That's what I usually like to wait for to buy a lot of my fishing gear. Just wait for the next holiday coming up. Check your email for a coupon code, and you can get significant discounts. But yeah, I have a couple of these, and I'm honestly thinking about picking up a couple more. Ulas, welcome to the stream. What are we using for a lure? We're using, this is my favorite pike lure. I've caught pike off all sorts of different things, but when I'm casting in shallow water, I use this all the time. It's called a Bandit 100. It's shallow diving square bill crankbait. Dives to about 2 to 5 feet. It's pearl white in color with the red eye. It's also my favorite color. I also use a black one with red eyes that works really well. I tend to use this during daylight hours when it's brighter outside. I switch to the darker one towards night, and I don't know why it tends to work. I have the same lure in half a dozen different colors, but the white is almost always what I go to. It's my comfort lure. I've caught off of this, not this particular lure, I lost my lucky lure, but off of this style of lure. In the last 2 years, I've caught well over 100 pike off of them. They're pike magnets. I'm gonna do an over-the-shoulder cast here. We have an ugly stick dock runner, catfish rod, 2 regular ugly sticks, 1 6-foot light and 1 6-foot medium heavy. Yeah, I have a myriad of different ugly sticks too. I just actually picked up a couple of their catfish rods last year. We have the GTX, and I forget what this one is. Ugly stick, elite graphite. They have tons of different rods, and I like all of them, but my hands down my favorite is this ugly stick carbon. The only thing I don't use, there's 2 things that I don't use it for. When I am trolling, usually I'll use my Akuma rods, my Akuma rod and reels. And when I am throwing, you know, the big big pike lures or big musky lures, you know, the 1 ounce plus, I tend to switch to a heavier rod. But for anything else, these ugly stick carbons, they're unbeatable. Highly recommend to anybody looking for a good all-around rod. Josie, welcome back to the stream, Josie. We're doing good. We haven't caught anything yet. I've had a handful of fish biting at the lure. Nothing sunk its teeth in yet, though. How's your day going, Josie? Good pick. I generally use purple-green spinner with a green paddle tail, or just a green, red, yellow colored paddle tails as my main lure for pike and turkey. Interesting. Purple-green spinner. Huh. Yeah, I've got tackle boxes full of so many different colored lures, so many different styles of lures. And over the years, just sheer number of fish that I've caught off just a plain white lure, plain black lure has astonished me. I fish with it more often now because it produces fish quite well and consistently for me. And most of the colorful, the fancy lures that I have in my tackle box, I pull them out every once in a while. If I'm in a slump and they're just not biting the white or the black, I'll go through, you know, the gauntlet of different lures that I have. But more times than not, I don't need to. I throw this lure out, you know, within a couple hours, you know, I get a good fish on the line. Got an ugly stick heavy rod, and my nephew reeled in a 38-inch cat a few weeks ago. Thing was heavy too. Got some nice pics of it. You do catfishing? Oh, I love to catfish. Yeah. When I'm not pike fishing, catfishing is catfishing and carp fishing are two of my other favorite species to target. I have to go about an hour downstream from here to really get into good catfishing. But there are some nice channel cats here in Montana. I love catching giants. Me too. That's what I'm after. These days, I used to love just catching lots of fish. Anymore, I prefer quality over quantity. I'm trying to catch big fish, not necessarily a lot of fish. I'll take a lot of fish. I'm not gonna say no to a lot of fish, but I definitely would prefer to catch bigger fish. If I could catch one solid pike, you know, in an outing, I'm happy. And yesterday, again, we pulled it wasn't a monster, a 31-inch, 8.2 pound, I think it was, right out of the spot, right where we're sitting. And I was very pleased with that. It was one of the thickest, the head on it, like from behind, you know, from above, just thick. It was one of the thickest pike I've ever caught in my life. Not super long, but just chunky, thick. Sue Vaughn asks, are you on a John boat? Yeah, we're on a John boat. And Josie says, don't forget to like and subscribe. Heck yeah, that really helps the channel out. If y'all like fishing content, you like live streams, I do stream. I try and go live at least 2 to 3 times a week. My schedule's kind of sporadic, it's all over the place. And also, if you like underwater fishing content, I have a couple of new lure cameras that I've been using and getting some neat content. You can check that out on the channel. Lots of pike follows, pike bites at the lures. It's cool as heck seeing what they do under the water where you just can't see. Oh God, I'm way behind on the comments here. Let me bash through some here. I've been hooking muskie while bass walleye fishing. You are lucky, I am jealous. Manuel says, big fish catcher here. Awesome, Manuel, welcome to the channel. Josie, I had to go to the store. I'm making bacon burgers. Oh, that sounds so good. I had a McDonald's McMuffin for breakfast today. That's all I've eaten. They bite crazy for perch, green fire tiger colors, but locals generally use redheads or full white like yours. Fire tiger is also, it's fairly productive in a couple of the water bodies that I fish in. One of my friends that I fish with sometimes, that's his go-to. Everywhere we go, he's throwing fire tiger. It doesn't matter what style of crank or, ooh. Well, we caught the net. That's our first catch of the day. I need to move that. Hold on a second. Bear with me for a moment. We're gonna catch and release the net here. All right, she's been released, and I'm gonna get this the heck out of the way. That's the one thing I hate about big landing nets. They're big and they're obnoxious and in the damn way. All right, now we are tangly. Hold on. How many times are you wrapped around there, bro? There we go. All right. Get a quick drink here and then I'll get back to the comments. Yeah, I've never caught a muskie. Well, I've never landed a muskie. We don't have muskie here. We have tiger muskie, which are the hybrid between a northern pike and a muskie. Bro, there's a girl who has an OF and she's fishing with more viewers than you. I'm not a big channel. I think we just crossed the 500 subscriber mark last night. Girls in general, it doesn't matter what kind of content, what platform they're on, they tend to get more viewers than men. Not always, but they tend to. And I could see that especially with a genre like fishing. When I look through my analytics, my audience it's like 85 to 90% male. There aren't nearly as many women that are into fishing as there are men. I don't know what that's all about, but yeah, so men like fishing content, men like girls, so if you got a girl who's putting out fishing content, that's a pretty much a winning combination. John, are you talking about Faith? Yeah. Oh, is that Faith and Tackle? Is that she comes in my stream occasionally. She streams on OF fishing content. I've been bass and walleye fishing and accidentally hooking muskies. Any walleye where you're located? Swisher, yeah, there's really nice walleye in here, 30 plus inchers. I caught one last year that was just shy of 30 inches. It's like 6.5 pounds. They're lurking in here. That's true. One fish could make my whole day and I'd be happy with my outing. God, I'm way behind on the comments here. I love fishing. I do as well, Manuel. Joe, welcome to the stream. I like that you aren't afraid to show what works. There are a lot of fishermen that are gatekeepers. They don't want to tell you what they're using, where they're using it at. Everybody's got the secret sauce. Whatever, you do you. I'm of the opinion that we're all throwing some plastic shiny thing out in the water trying to catch fish, and there's no real secret to any of it, especially when you're fishing for something like pike. They're a highly aggressive species. They bite at almost everything. But if I can help people, if I can teach them how to catch more fish, or give them a tip that'll help them out the next time they're on the water, I would much prefer to do that than try and be some elitist that, oh, I know something you don't. It's all a crock. We're all out here just playing. Fishing is an addiction. It absolutely is. Organic Machine, I subbed. I appreciate that. Every one of you guys that hits that sub button, it means a lot to me. Every day when I get done streaming, I look and see all the new subscribers, and I go and check out their videos if they also stream, and it makes my day. Nice catch. Oh God, I'm far behind. Sorry, let me read through these comments. I must be talking. I'm reading through comments that people left like 10 minutes ago. Happens to the best of us, for real. Just got me a big landing net. Dwight Barron's double yellowtail also get pike. I've caught quite a bit with tails also growing up. Uras fishing are very different in the world. As an example, we use taller rods, 6 foot, called child rod in Turkey. Spinning rods are around 7 to 9 foot. Surf rods go up to 16 foot. Yeah, I've watched, there's a, oh God, what is his channel name? Tommy something or other. He uses them big surf rods. And yeah, I've never fished with a rod like that. They're incredibly large. Have you caught anything yet? Robert Medina, no. We've had a couple of bites. We've only been fishing about an hour or so. We haven't quite reached the dinner bell. I'm hoping we should start getting some activity here in the next hour. She has a bunch of simps in her chat. That boy Mason VR, welcome back. Roberto had caught the net. He hasn't been fishing very long. Slip bobbers up to 3-ounce lead or lure picks. We use brighter colors than silver white, more blades than Rapalas. Yeah, there are, I mean, different tactics depending on where you're at. I would imagine a lot of those same tactics would work well here. People tend to fish with what they're comfortable with, though, and I always say that your best lure to throw is the one you're most comfortable throwing, that you know the action on, that you know the depth it goes, that you know you can catch fish on. There's never a perfect lure. And again, when you're fishing for a voracious predator like a pike or a walleye or a muskie, oftentimes I don't think it does matter, but not as much as people think what the lure is. Oftentimes your retrieve is more important than the lure. You know, how erratic it is, how fast you're going, and where in the water you're casting it. You know, whether it be shallow, whether it be against structure, whether it be, you know, in the trolling over deep areas. Knowing where the fish are is more important than what you're throwing at them. I mean, since I started doing the underwater videos, man, the fish bite at the camera constantly. It don't look like a fish. It's got, you know, a little flashy light on it. They like the flashy light. They're not afraid of, you know, the billion pounds of tackle and gear that I have on there. Sorry, I really need to catch up. Mr. Beff Tackle, welcome to the stream. I'm so hungry I could eat a fish like 2 minutes ago. I'm pretty good. I ate this morning, but people call it intermittent fasting. I usually eat like once a day. I eat one good solid meal. I don't eat the whole breakfast, lunch, dinner that y'all do. Tommy Stam, there you go. That's the one I was talking about. Legendary Dutch fisherman. Yeah, if you guys haven't checked out his channel, he's fun as heck to watch. And he uses these behemoth rods and catches all sorts of cool stuff. Thank you. That was the name I was looking for. How long does a fish take on average? Arati, welcome to the stream. There's some days I come here, first cast you'll catch a fish. Every other cast you'll catch a fish. Other days you come here and you can sit here for 8 hours throwing every lure in your tackle box and not get a single bite. There's no rhyme or reason to it. Landon Robin, welcome to the stream. Rodney, welcome from Guam. Guam, you are probably my first visitor from Guam. Half-ounce lure Jensen Craw color sugar shad crank, 13.93 smallmouth. That is a behemoth. Yes, please. You're absolutely right. Some dudes, including me, even go through barometric pressure, weather, moon phases. Sadly, fishing is way harder here. I have been getting in, so I use an app called FishBrain, where I post my catches and it tracks, you know, the date, the time, the wind speed, the temperature, the barometric pressure, the moon cycle, the sun cycle, you know, all those different metrics. And I always have kind of been like, oh, you know, that's all hoopla. But after logging all of my catches, or a lot of my catches for the past 3 years, I have started to actually notice some pretty interesting trends, especially around the moon cycles. The period of a waning and waxing moon cycle, right before a full moon, right after a full moon, right before a new moon, right after a new moon. Those couple of days right before and after the waning, or the full moon and the new moon, I have exponentially more catches than almost any other time of the month. So it's interesting. There is some, you know, some, oh, what's the word I'm looking for? All right, it's legit. There's some science behind it. It's not just hoopla. And I'm doing the weird casts and cranks here. Don't mind me. I'm just an idiot fishing over here. You ever fished from behind? You probably shouldn't. It's not a great idea. Dirty waters and no fish because, oop. Yep, that's why you don't fish from behind. You can't see what you're doing. I mean, I gotta spin around. I want my lure to go over here. I do have a fish finder. There's one sitting right here. I turned the beeps off and all the crazy noises on it. It's not a primary tool I use for finding fish. I primarily use it to find structure. I mean, it's a glorified depth finder for me. It's a fancy fish finder. I have side scan on it, down scan. I do look at it, I reference it, but I'm not somebody who's like, ooh, I see a fish there, I'm gonna cast there. I mean, I can't interpret it that well to begin with, and even then, I'll cast in the general vicinity of where I think it might be showing me fish. But I'm more looking for structure and depth than I am looking for the fish on it. You got an agenda for that? You write your catches, the lure, and what was on your mind? You think what you're thinking is, you think you're willing the fish to bite? Robert James, welcome. Any fish yet? No, we've had a couple of bites, but nothing solid yet. But no, on the fish finder, I'm seeing this spot is absolutely loaded with fish. They're constantly streaming in and around the boat. There's no fun in fish finder for me, honestly. The anticipation of whether or not I'll get something is what keeps me entertained. Yeah. No, I do use them. They're highly valuable for depth finding, especially when you're in waters that have, you know, super shallow patches. The first time you run your motor over, you know, a sunken rock or a sunken car or, you know, something that's just under the surface of the water, you'll wish you had a fish finder and you'll wish you were paying attention to it so you didn't, you know, shear the prop pin off your motor or, God forbid, peel the whole motor off the back of your boat. But no, I don't ever rely on it heavily to use for where the fish are. I'm more looking for, you know, what I'm going to run into, what I'm going to, you know, obstacles to avoid, and what depths I'm at. I do use it for that because I like to see what depths I'm fishing over, especially when I'm trolling, so I can keep in mind for next time. You know, all right, I'm fishing over a 50-foot bottom. I'm running a lure that runs 12 foot deep, and I'm running, you know, 90 foot of leaded line out that takes me another 10 foot. So I'm fishing at 22 foot over a 50-foot bottom, and I'm pulling fish left and right. You know, if I switch to a 40-foot bottom, I'm not getting nearly as many bites. So I like to use it for stuff like that. RFA, we still haven't caught anything. That's, again, this fishing spot is one of the ones that I go to that I don't tend to catch a lot, but when I do hook up on them, they tend to be really good sized, really good quality fish. So we're gonna keep at it here. Right around 4 p.m. here, I call it the dinner bell. I have typically, not all the time, but typically right around 4 p.m. and, you know, the half hour or so after, I tend to get a lot of activity this time of the year. So we're coming up. We got about a half an hour before the magic dinner bell starts ringing. 324. Now more like a marabou tail worm with 2 gram jig head for shrimp or crustacean. Imitation on ultralight saltwater. Yeah, that sounds like a good setup. Welcome to those joining. Oh God, this headache needs to go away. My head is still doing the wah 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 thing. A little bit better now that I've gotten out of the sun, but that ibuprofen definitely has not yet kicked in. Oh, fishy, 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 where are you? That's what I write on the agenda with the weather. Yeah, I mean, that's a good system, Ulas. That's just a lot of work to do it, you know, pen and paper style. I toss it on, where the hell's my phone? Yeah, have you guys ever seen or used fish brain? Let's see here. This is the fish brain app. So I follow on their pike. These are all, it's the pike feed, so it's pike that people are catching all over the world. But anyways, if you go click on my profile, you see my profile is @Vox, VOX, but you can sort by, so like species, for example. Northern Pike. This was the one that we caught here yesterday. Not the greatest picture of it. It had been out of the water for a while, so I wanted to get it back in. I didn't get a great picture. Let's see. There's a nice one from a few weeks ago. Is it? Oops. The 10-pounder. Very nice pike. Very light colored. Normally they're much darker than that, but really pretty fish. She was chunky. I think it was, what is it? But again, I can look back and I can see, okay, it was 9.9 pounds, 33.5 inches. I caught it, you know, at this time of the day. The wind, it was blowing from this direction, etc., etc. It's handy. Are you originally from Montana? Yeah, I am. Born and raised. I moved away for college. I lived in Washington and Idaho. I've lived in Tennessee, Pittsburgh, Texas, most recently California. I just moved back to Montana about 3 years ago. Record walleye is beat set at 39 inches, and it was from the 90s. Yeah, that's a big walleye. I think Montana, it's 32 inches is the record, but catching them over 30 inches is not uncommon. We have a lot of 30 plus inchers. Ulas, it sounds like you put a hell of a lot more effort into your fishing and planning and tracking than most people do. Which, props to you, kudos. I hope it helps you improve and get better and catch bigger and better fish every year. And I'm sure it does. I'm always trying to learn different things and try different things. When I'm streaming here, you know, I like to try and get at least one good catch before I start playing around in the tackle box and and testing different things that people are telling me about or asking me to try. So we're gonna try and put one in the boat, get the skunk out, and then we can run through and try some different things. I've got quite a large arsenal of tackle here, crammed in every nook and cranny on the boat. When was the best catch you've had? 2 years ago in this exact same spot. In fact, I can show you that picture in a moment here. It's kind of a grotesque picture. Unfortunately, this particular fish, it was such a big fish, and I caught it twice in the same day, and it was just tuckered out. I spent a good half an hour, 40 minutes trying to get her to go back and swim away, and she was she was out for the count. So I ended up bringing her home and harvesting it, which I hate to do. It was such a big, beautiful fish. But anyway, so the picture, it's a little bit gory. I'll show you it. Yeah, so I apologize for the blood and gore, but that's my PB Northern Pike. It's a 42.5 inch, 22.5 pounds. She was just thick. It was like a sausage cosplaying as a Northern Pike. But that was caught in this very spot that we're fishing in right now. She's a beast. Sorry for the glare. But I've caught multiple 10 plus pounders out of this same spot. That's the only 40 incher that I've managed to pull out of here though. Generally go fishing 10 to 15 times a year, which you can understand. My mindset is I want to have the best time on my trip or catch as many as I could. Yeah, absolutely. Especially if you're only getting to go out that few of times. That extra planning and research and, you know, really having your plan set, I think that's not something most people do. And unfortunately, I try to, but I go fishing so often that I kind of wing it sometimes. I've been to these same spots that I fished so many times, and I know what's been effective, I know what hasn't, and I just run through my regular process, and then if it doesn't work, if I'm not getting the hits, if I'm not getting, you know, bites or catches, I'll improvise from then on. This is the Missouri River. We're about a 15-minute drive from where I live, very close. Yeah, this is my home river. I love it and I hate it. I've caught some of the biggest fish I've ever caught in my life right out of this area, but I've also been, I think, skunked at this spot more times than any other place I've ever fished in my life. It's one of those spots that it's either gonna give you or it's not. Some days it's not in a very giving mood. Hopefully today is. Yeah, nah, fishing. Welcome to the stream. Hey, bro. Good luck. Dropped a like. Gotta go take care. Thank you for stopping through, yeah, nah. Appreciate that. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. You're probably already on Monday over there. Y'all freaking New Zealanders living in the future. Subway surfers, Zamir, Sam Queen. Welcome to the stream. I'm going to Coastal City 15 days later and been planning this trip for 2 months. Got a new setup, got lures. Hope that I could go with my rod or fishing allowed. Heck yeah. Yeah, nah, see, that ain't right. Y'all are time traveling demons or something. 10 a.m. Monday morning. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon Sunday. Y'all are living in the future. Appreciate the thumbs up, guys. Oh yeah, 35, heck yeah. And if you enjoy the stream, don't be shy, hit that subscribe button. I do go live quite often. Come visit, come hang out. It's almost 1 a.m. there. Oh wow. Yeah, you're tomorrow as well, but yeah, nah, he's at 10. They're already halfway through their day. Like, that's just absurd to me. Australia and Aussie, it's just such a weird time zone difference. It's where time starts, NZ, or is it Pacific? Might be Samoa. Yeah, so you're just like right on that line where you got time starts, time ends. I don't know, time zones are weird to me. They made sense at, you know, one point in time in human history, but I really wish we would do away with them. Like, time should just be the same time everywhere on the planet. It shouldn't be related to where the sun is in the sky. It's just weird and complicated and unnecessary. Welcome to those joining the stream. We're still trying to hook up on a monster here. Oh, I'm gonna stand up and cast for a few. Come on, fishy, fishy. But again, when I'm fishing this, you can feel it. I can feel every time it ticks off the bottom. I can feel when it picks up weeds. And that's what I'm going for, is to try and, every few cranks, I want it to be smacking off the bottom, throwing up a cloud of dust. This isn't the clearest water, so that commotion really, it seems to draw in the attention of the pike. But you can also use, you know, bright lures, loud lures, a lot of different ways to cause, you know, commotion to get their attention. But in these muddy, you know, dirtier, stained waters, I find that stuff that's occasionally bouncing off the bottom tends to do real well to get their attention. But changes in speed, changes in direction, anything that's erratic drives the pike crazy. Doubt it, you American fellas. Take the stress. World is complicated. Also, the climate. My friend went to Dominican Republic last day, late spring, chiller weather than here. Turkey is hella hot these days, up to 115 to 120. Oh God, that sounds miserable. This time of the right now is usually the hottest time of the year here in Montana. And we do get into 100, 110, sometimes 115, but it's usually not for a long period of time. We'll get a couple of days, maybe a week of just miserably hot weather, and then it starts cooling back off again. SoCal, welcome to the stream, dude. Yep, that's what happened. Stole a boat, now I'm fishing. Isn't that what everybody, all the garden gnomes that break out of rehab do? I just got a $2 rod from Walmart that was 10 feet. $2? Is it broken or you just found it on clearance? That's a steal. Shit, I might buy a broken rod for $2. Can't buy anything for $2 these days. Hell, I think the Mountain Dew that I'm drinking cost me more than $2. Sure you didn't rob somebody in the parking lot? SoCal. We're just chilling. We haven't caught any fish yet. It's a little warm out. We're just parked under the bridge here in the shallows. Have had a couple of bites. They're definitely interested. I just haven't got anything to commit yet. Just a matter of time, though. How's your day going, SoCal? Did you stream it all at the pond? I got a much later start than I had wanted. I was tired as hell when I dropped me off at work this morning, so I went back to bed for a couple hours, and then she called and she got off work early. I had to drive back to town and pick her up. And I'm like, screw it, I'm awake, going fishing. It's a crappie rod, okay. Dava999, welcome to the stream. How you doing? You just got back from doing a stream from the border wall, gonna fish when it cools down. Yeah, I watched a little bit of your border wall content a while back. That's crazy you live so close to that. I don't know, I've only been down that way once in my life. So when I was traveling the Gulf Coast of Texas, I stopped in, what was it? Brownsville, Texas, I think it was. And crossed over the border for a night and got really wasted. And wandered back over to the border. Alright, I need to smoke. These fish should start biting here fairly quickly, I hope. The dinner bell's coming, I can hear it. Actually, it was $1.68, but you know, tax. Yeah, we don't have tax here in Montana. Zero tax. SoCal, I got a bait idea for you. It's taken a lot of careful consideration. A little sliver of last year's flip-flop smeared with some Vegemite. Get it in the deep end, bro. I don't know, you might be onto something there. Leave a comment on the potato video. Do you use this setup for large pike? I do, yeah. It's I caught that 22.5 pounder off a rod just like this. It's definitely undersized. I have a hard time recommending it to use for, you know, 20 plus pounders, but I will say it held up amazingly well. And I've caught, you know, roughly 20-pound carp off of it as well. And carp fight, honestly, pound for pound, a carp probably fights harder than a pike does. Pike are just gnarlier because they got the big scary teeth. But yeah, I use a super lightweight. The only time I switch to a heavier rod is when I'm trolling. And I use this guy for trolling. I have two different variations of this. It's the Akuma Pro trolling series. This one is the planer board rod. It's an 8.5 foot rod. Much heavier duty. I think it's a medium heavy, moderate action. And it's extendable, so it collapses down like a foot. Makes it really handy to use in a small John boat like this. So I do use heavier rods when I'm trolling for pike. But if I'm casting for them, if I'm throwing, you know, smaller lures, basically what dictates if I'm going to use a heavy pull or a light pull is not the fish that I'm fishing for, it's the lure that I'm throwing that I'm using to catch the fish with. If I start throwing, you know, let's see here. I'm going to take a quick fishing break while I go through a couple of lures here. If I were throwing one of these guys, something like that. I mean, this sucker weighs 3 3/8 ounce, 97 grams. It's heavy. I would not be throwing that on this little light pole. I would probably, you know, launch the lure off the pole or break my pole. So if I'm throwing, you know, a super bulky lure, I switch to a heavier rod. But if I'm throwing, you know, basically anything under an ounce, 100% of the time I'm going to prefer a lighter pole. I want to be able to feel it. I want to feel the action on it. You know, if I'm lobbing one of these guys out, I'm probably not going to be using my medium light fast action. I'm going to go with a heavier pole. If I'm throwing something like that out there, you know, I'm not going to be using my medium light fast action pole. So it really, my rod selection is going to be 100% based upon the lure that I'm throwing out there rather than the targeted fish. You can catch big fish on tiny poles. It's not the greatest to do in some cases. You can, like if it's super hot weather, you're not going to want to wear a fish out, you know, to death, because then you may not be able to release them. But these ugly sticks, they're freaking indestructible, man. You're not, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to break your pole with a big fish if you handle it properly. And your ability to feel the movement of the lure in the water, to feel the bottom, to feel, you know, debris, far outweighs the you know, the size, the strength of the pole. So I do 99% of the time that I'm fishing, and if I'm throwing lures and it's not a big, you know, chonky 12-inch, 13-inch lure, this is my go-to pole. I use it for everything. I have, oh God, probably 6 or 8 poles that sit in my garage collecting dust. They're all wonderful rods, great reels on them, but after I picked this up and realized how light it is, how sensitive it is, how comfortable it is throwing lures all day on it, the other ones, I rarely pull them out. And one of the biggest things is the weight on it. I've had lots of shoulder injuries over the years, which then leads to neck problems and all sorts of shit. And casting all day with a heavier pole, you know, if my pole weighs 2 pounds, 3 pounds, it really does a number on my back, my neck, my shoulders. And this thing I can comfortably throw all day long, multiple days in a row, and you know, it doesn't bug me, it doesn't bother me. Those little bait caster rigs can pull in decent fish, expensive reels on them. Yeah, see, that's one of the things I love about it. There is nothing expensive about this setup. People think you gotta have, you know, all this fancy, expensive gear to catch, you know, big fish. And, you know, I went through that. That's why I have a garage full of frickin', you know, expensive rods, expensive reels. And I do take them out every once in a while. They're nice, I like them, but I still prefer this one. You know, it's a $100 setup. $100 for a rod and a reel. Super low cost. And again, if I break it, I'm out $100. I go buy a new one. You know, it's not like the $200 to $300 reels that I have that I'd be upset if I broke one of them, or when I do break one of them, because they do break. I mean, they don't last forever. But again, ugly stick, you break it, you send them an email, and they ask, you know, when you purchased it, where you purchased it. Usually they don't even ask for a receipt. They just want a rough, you know, estimate of when and where it came from, and what did you do to it? Did it break while you were casting? You know, did it break while you were pulling in a fish? Did you step on it? You know, as long as it isn't complete negligence, they don't really ask questions. They send you a brand new pole in the mail. It's rated for 60. Yeah, I use it. It's not rated for nearly what I use it for. I mean, I don't think it's rated for less than, you know, a ½ ounce weight, but I'll throw 1 ounces on it all day comfortably. It's my favorite rod, and if anybody's looking for just a versatile, low-cost setup, I highly recommend it. One of these days, I need to post a link on my YouTube channel for people so they can find it. You can get it on Amazon. Both of these are on Amazon. Just wait for a deal. Wait till they go on sale, because you can get a significant discount. Rosalinda, welcome to the stream. Shout out one bigger rod that I use for lugging all them big musky lures out there. And that guy, I think I'm running either 60 or... Oh, damn it. What is up with that? I don't know why it does that. Sorry, guys. You got an ugly rod and he was bending it and then snap. Oh, God. Yeah, I have broke a couple of them. The last one that I had break was a 30-year-old, 25-year-old ugly stick. It was a rod that was my twin brother's that we fished with when we were little. And it had been sitting in the sun, baking in the sun, you know, in my buddy's garage for 2 decades. And we caught it was like a 15-pound cat. And his daughter was using it. And she was, you know, really wrenching on it. You know, wasn't using the pole properly. And she did bust it. So, I mean, they do break. They're not indestructible, but they really do. They put up with a lot of abuse before they will fail on you. As long as you're not, you know, doing something completely ridiculous with it, they'll last. Rosalinda, hope you catch 6-pound bass. I love ugly sticks. I have 2 of them. Yeah, most of my rods are ugly stick brand. I have a handful of other brands as well, but I do like ugly stick. They're not the most expensive, they're not the most fancy, but they are one of the most durable poles on the market. And they make a nice rod. They're fun to fish with. Yeah, they're good. Are they expensive there? Well, isn't everything expensive in Australia and New Zealand? Y'all are an island out in the middle of nowhere. It's like Hawaii. It takes... just the cost of shipping goods there adds, you know, a substantial premium to the cost. Just goofing around doing a strength test with a dumbbell and broken 3 sections. Oh, geez. Just checked the price in Walmart. It says $60 for that rod you got for $2. Heck yeah, it's a steal. Everything's these days everything is. I don't think it matters where you're at, everything's expensive. Inflation has hit the world like crazy these last 4 to 6 years. Stop smoking, gang. Oh, y'all are in a gang? I don't want to join your gang. Just saying. Miguel, welcome to the stream. Manuel, I don't know where to use it though. Not everything, I'm cheapest. Yeah, I am with certain things. It's not a bad thing to be cheap. Save your money, invest it, grow it. So one day you don't have to work and you can retire and play. That's what I've done. I was cheap all my life. I saved and I invested, and I am so glad that I did. I'm at a point now in my life where I estimate I have about 3 to 5 years more of work in me before I quit, and then I just fish all day, every day. Made your setup for roughly 80 bucks, and I could bet my tackle box that I could easily compete with an X. Oh yeah, I'm not saying it's the best or only option. It's just one that I found that is very moderately cost. It's highly versatile, and it's really comfortable to use. It's sensitive. There's just a lot of benefits to it. There's so many alternatives that are out there. What I like, what my preference is and works for me, definitely may not be, you know, to everybody's taste. What a lot of people that are in these channels or that are joining the chat are, you know, relatively new fishermen. They're not experienced. They don't know what to buy. They don't know if they need to go out and buy, you know, that expensive $200-300 rod, $200-300 reel. So I'm just trying to give people a good option that's a versatile, good all-around rod that ain't gonna break the bank and that you can use for nearly any type of fishing. But yeah, I'm sure there are better options, better choices that are out there. This is just one that I found that I really like, and I like to recommend to people. Mark, I'm retired, it sucks. This man then knows what he's talking about, words of wisdom. Well, I appreciate that. Rosalinda, let's see some fish get caught. That's what I'm saying. I'm trying. If one of y'all wants to hop over here and show me how to catch a fish, you're welcome to join me. Hop on down to Broadwater Bay. I'm underneath Warden Street Bridge. Nah, they're picky here sometimes. Like I said, this is one of those spots I usually either catch a really impressive fish or I catch nothing at all. So we could very well be skunked today. I don't feel like we're gonna be skunked though. I think we're gonna hook up on something here eventually. Mark, if retirement sucks, it's because you're doing it wrong. I'm retired and I love it. Miguel, yeah, we're fishing down here. Now, I want the freedom to be able to, if I want to sleep all day, I can sleep all day. If I want to go out and camp for a week, I can go out and camp for a week. If I want to disappear for a month, I can disappear for a month. And above all, I don't want to have to worry about, am I going to be able to pay my bills? Am I going to be able to feed myself? Yeah, I have, like I said, my entire life, I saved. I lived cheaply, I invested, and I made wise choices with my money. So with the thought that one day I'm not gonna have to wake up and work every day. I'm not gonna have to go punch a clock, deal with angry people, deal with deadlines, the stress, some days I don't mind work, some days I enjoy work, but most of the time it just drives me crazy. I don't enjoy it as much as I used to. I don't enjoy the people that I work with. I don't enjoy the job that I do. What I'm doing right now is what I enjoy. And because of decisions that I've made in my life and, you know, the investments that I've made, I should, within the next 3 to 5 years, hopefully be able to call it quits, and I will be able to live comfortably for however many years I have left, not having to worry about money, and being able to travel and do the things that I enjoy more. Bass Fishing TV, welcome to the stream. Welcome back. We have not caught anything yet. But we are just arriving on the magic dinner bell hour here. So strap in, folks. We might be hooking into something here real soon. 4 o'clock in the afternoon here. There seems to be a feeding frenzy for the local pike. And we just hit 4 o'clock, so we'll see if they're hungry today. Rosalie Linda says fishing clears my mind out and I love it. Same here. I stress just falls away from me while I'm fishing. I just enjoy it, even if I'm not catching fish. You know, I every once in a while it gets irritating. It's like, what the heck? Come on, man. But most of the time, I don't care. I would love to catch fish. It makes it that much more enjoyable. But I'm perfectly happy just sitting here in the water, listening to the sounds and trying to catch fish. I'll join in 2 hours if you're still live streaming. Yeah, I'll be here. I'll be on probably for at least the next 5 hours. I'm not going to stream until complete dark like I did last night. It's a pain in the butt trying to get the boat on the trailer when I can't see 6 inches in front of my face. Flash, welcome back. How you doing today? Oh, dang it! There was our fish. You son of a bitch, get over here. I told you, right on fucking cue. 4:01 p.m. That was a good solid bite. We missed it though. All right, I'm gonna stand up, you guys. We're getting this fish. Hold on. Get over here. The dinner bell has rung. Here, fishy, fishy. Time to eat. Fishy food time. Come here, fishy, fishy. Nope, that's a snag. No, don't take my lure. Oh, come on. That's not a fish, that's a stick or something. Oh, of course, there's my fishy bubbles. Oh, well, that stinks. We did not get a fish. We just lost our lure on the only snag that's in this spot. Bear with me for a minute, guys. I'm gonna tie on a new rig. Guess we could go over that too. It's a good thing to show you. Do your thing, he'll come back. You're fishy, fishy. All right, so first thing I always throw on is a bead. And again, that's to protect the tip of my pole. It also acts as an attractant. And then I tie on a swivel / clip combo. One of these guys. And I don't know what y'all's favorite knot is. I like to tie a double loop uni. So you go once through the eye, twice through the eye. Slack here. So we're just through our eye twice. Bring your tag end over the main line, do a quick loop, and then you're wrapping anywhere from 6 to 12 times. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Gently pull your tag end, pull out the slack. Slobber all over. Don't tighten it all the way down. Get it formed into a knot, then grab your main line. Wrap your shirt around your hand. Snug her down. And do the same thing with your tag end. The braid will slice right through your frickin' fingers. Sometimes you could use pliers. I just like to wrap my shirt around my finger. Get it snug down. A couple of times, we're good to go. And I usually leave a 1/4 inch or so. You can cut it closer to the knot. A double loop uni is one of the strongest knots on the planet. And I tie them for everything. Everybody's got their favorite, but that's the knot that I tie for almost everything. All right, and then we need a leader. Now that sucks. That was one of my good fluoro leaders. I have a couple of more of those, but we're gonna just throw on a steel leader for now, because I think that's what I have handy. Again, you're fishing for pike, you're fishing for muskie. Use a leader. You'll lose a ton of fish if you don't. These are, I think it's a 60-pound steel leader. Cheap. Got a whole pack of them off of Amazon. I think I had like 2 dozen of them for $8-9 bucks. Not the highest quality in the world, but they do work. I haven't had any break on me. All right, and then let's get another crank on there. We're gonna switch to, we're gonna be a little flashy. We're gonna try, I don't know what the hell color this is. Actually, we'll go with the fire tiger-ish. Gimme. Good Lord. Whichever one of you comes out first is the one I'm using. Alright, well, it was a tie, kind of. Alright, there we go. You do twice through the eye, STJ or trilane. I generally use braid, and I put on 45-pound mono and strong coast lock snap swivel like yours. Okay. There we go. We're rigged back up. All right. Back to here fishy fishy time. Here fishy fishy fishy. These way too big low quality swivels on those steel leaders. Have some good ones. I don't steal freshwater, plenty to tie my own saltwater for giant. Yeah, they're not the greatest quality. This particular brand, I have not had any random breakages on them, but you're right. Most of them, they're just garbage. I prefer to use, they're expensive. They're about $5 a pop. I really need to start making my own. But like I was just using, they're a heavy duty. It's like a 60 or an 80-pound fluoro leader. And the ones that I use, they're sold by a brand called Muskie Madness. And I do have a handful more of them. I don't know which nook or cranny on my boat I currently have them tucked in. Miguel, welcome back. How you doing today, buddy? Andrew Boyer, welcome all the way from South Carolina. How you doing over there in South Carolina, bud? Who, Josie? Miguel? Miguel, hey man, if one of my mods is saying you're starting crap, I'm gonna ask you once nicely to knock it off. I'm gonna ask you once. We don't have drama in my stream. We're here to have fun. We're here to be nice to each other. We're here to chill. If you're gonna be a butthole, you're not gonna be in my stream anymore. So please, I'm gonna ask you once nicely. Be nice. Josie, if he keeps it up, give him a swift kick in the nuts. What combo are you using? We're using the Ugly Stick Carbon. It's a medium light fast action rod paired with the Piscifun Carbon X2 1000 series rod. It's a super light rig setup. 30-pound braid on it, Suffix Advanced. We got a bead, a snap swivel, like a 60-pound steel leader, and we're running the Bandit 100 series shallow diving square billed crankbait. Dives to a depth of about 2 to 5 foot, and we're fishing at about a 4-foot bottom right now. Oh, that wasn't. Dang it. Sorry, Carter. Can somebody fix that? I didn't mean to do Carter. Time him out for 1 second if you could find his name. That was meant for, Hold on a second, guys. I just accidentally kicked somebody that I didn't mean to. That's why I should leave this crap to the mods. How the hell did I even do that? He didn't even say anything. Thank you. Thank you. Sorry, Carter, that was unintentional. I hit the wrong button. My apologies. I accidentally timed Carter out. It was not what I was trying to do. Oh, get off of there. Yeah, no, again, the only thing I don't like about these Bandit 100s is the split rings that it come with. They're way too light. The first thing that I do when I open up the package on these is peel all the split rings off and replace them. That's what I was trying to do, Josie. Miguel, yeah, just time him out. I don't know why people gotta be like that. There's no reason for it. Y'all come in here, chill, have fun. We're fishing. We're not fighting. You want to fight? Go to the bar. Go to Walmart. I don't know. Don't do it here. All right, we're fishing. Let's catch a fish. welcome to those that are joining. Hope you guys are all having a wonderful Sunday afternoon, evening, Monday morning, whatever it is, wherever you are. We're out here on the Missouri River, central Montana, and we are trying to catch ourselves a monster pike, and they are in here. This particular spot I've pulled out numerous over 10 pounds and one over 20 pounds. Last night we pulled out a 8-pounder, about 31 inches. We've had a couple of decent bites so far, but have not yet landed any fish. But they are in here and they seem like they're hungry. We just gotta find them in here. They passed under the bridge here. They seem to be moving around quite a bit. We just need to get the bait in front of them when they are passing through. And this particular time of the day here, right around 4 o'clock, seems to be one of their most active times of the day. I just gotta find them. Oop. Try not to fall in the water here. There's still one 10-foot rod, by the way, at Walmart for $2. Go snag that crap. Sell it on Craigslist or eBay. That's got to be somebody mispriced that crap. Euleras, have a good one, man. I'm late. Sub to you, so maybe contact you later. Thanks for stopping by the live and hanging out, Ulas. I enjoyed chatting with you today. Appreciate the sub, and yeah, we stream quite often here, so hope to see you again in one of the live streams. It was beside the Walmart bamboo rod. Huh. Ain't nothing costs $2 anymore. You see deals like that, you should just snag it. $2 well spent. Anybody else go out fishing this weekend? We went out, we streamed almost, God, I think we streamed for 12 hours yesterday. Bit ridiculous. But we did have one good catch. You'll be out in a couple hours. Manuel says, I was trying to convince my mom to let me get the other one, but she said no. Oh, man. Yeah, definitely. Good luck when you head out there, SoCal. You trying funky baits again, or are you just gonna try and get some fish in with your normal rigs? Flash says, when I've been out all day and I've been skunked, I toss out a giant cast net to make myself feel better, right? That's how one of the streams that I watch on here, Skipjack Cindy, her and her husband, boyfriend, whatever, Travis, they have a bunch of poles in the water, but if they're not getting any action, that's what they do. They just throw out a net. And I think he caught a decent sized sturgeon the other day on it. They catch all kinds of crap. You're fishing yesterday, caught 12 bluegill, 1 catfish, 2 bass. That's a good day out fishing. Circle of life, welcome to the stream. Some people feel the rain, most people just get wet. Right? Now, I enjoy the rain, as long as it's not super cold. I love the rain. I love the smell of it. I love... Oh god, yesterday during the stream we had like it was like 10 minutes where the sky just went dark, and man, it felt like the raindrops were like the size of golf balls. I have never felt such big raindrops in my life. But it came and it went. I got absolutely soaked in about the 10 minutes that it was here. And just about the time I pulled the boat under the bridge to get it out of the rain, it quit. And it was back, and the river just turned to glass. The wind was gone. It's just absolute perfection. Circle of life, hi from Connecticut. Howdy. How's the fishing over there in Connecticut? Cast net in the Missouri has to be illegal. I don't know the legality of it. I can't throw a cast net. When I was down in Florida, when I was younger, me and my brothers tried learning how to throw a cast net, and none of us could figure out how to do it. But I know you can use, minnow traps, bait traps here. I think a cast net may be legal. There's requirements on the size of it, and you can only keep certain things. You can't use it to harvest game fish. It's the same thing with the minnow traps. Basically, as long as you're not, commercially catching, I think you're okay. But yeah, you definitely want to check the regs before you try doing something like that, because FWP here takes violations quite seriously. They like to throw the book at people to make examples. Put your rod away. How am I supposed to catch a fish if I put my rod away? Can you use live? Not in central Montana. If in eastern Montana, if you go down below the Moroni Dam, that's basically where Eastern Fishing District starts. Live bait is legal, but only you have to look at the list of baits they allow. They don't allow you to use any game species. You can use, I think it's like sucker, white sucker, creek chub, lake chub, mottled sculpin. I don't know, there's a list of, I think, about 10 species of fish that you can use for cut bait or live bait in eastern Montana, but it's strictly prohibited in central Montana where we're at. Except for one place. Near Vaughan, it's called Muddy Creek at Vaughan, and it's, a 6-foot wide stream of muddy water that feeds into the Sun River, and for whatever reason, live bait is allowed there. I've only fished it once. I mean, all I caught out of there was little bullheads, but I don't know why. Everywhere else here in central Montana, you absolutely cannot use live bait. You can use cut bait, but not live bait. Circle of life, I live on Salmon River. It's a trophy trout stream, 2 creel limit. Topwater bass is pretty hot right now. Archery season right around the corner. We got some big old swamp doggies hiding up in Connecticut. Heck yeah, that sounds fun. Salmon's fun to fish for. I'm not a big fan of eating salmon, but I do love to fish for them. We get kokanee salmon around here. They're a heck of a fun fish to catch. They run at the boat, they run away from the boat, they jump out of the water, they do, crazy aerials, head shakes. They're just highly unpredictable. Super fun fight though. Fished Muddy Lake, slipped and ate shit. My wallet and tackle box flew everywhere, and I spent 2 hours looking for my keys to try to hook. Well, that's one way to do it. Not the way I would prefer. Good reason to own a metal detector, right? I had one when I was a kid. I used to have a blast with that damn thing. I found such cool things with a metal detector. we lived over on the west side of Great Falls here, and I spent the first week that I had it, I think I got it for birthday or Christmas, and I had some family visiting from Canada, and they loaded up the yard with a bunch of Canadian change and a bunch of stuff, so I got to go out there and find all the change. But after I got done finding all the stuff that they planted, I kept looking, and I found, you know, an ancient, really old, like 1800s Japanese coin, one of them ones that's like a circle that's got like a square cut out in the center. I found all sorts of crazy stuff, old belt buckles, jewelry, just out in my front and backyard. Wonder the type of shit you'd find magnet fishing in the Missouri. Under the Central Avenue West Bridge here downtown in Great Falls, you'll see people magnet fishing from down there. The one day I've fished down there a couple of times. You can catch pike and brown trout and rainbow trout right off the edge of the bridge there, but there were a couple of people that were magnet fishing there. They pulled out 2 revolvers, 2 old guns while I was sitting there over the course of about 45 minutes. Both of them looked like they'd been in the water for dang near 100 years. I mean, they were just disintegrating, falling apart. They were so rusted. Yeah, there's all sorts of crap in the water around here if you magnet fished. In England, we often find artifacts over 900 years old. Oh, I bet. You live in an area where the human civilization has been there for a lot longer than, you know, here in the United States. I bet you can find all sorts of crap. That's neat though, ancient Viking masks, helmets, heck yeah. Not a fan of magnet fishing because it's only conductive to ferrous objects. Non-ferrous precious metals don't stick. Yeah, you're only gonna get stuff that sticks to a magnet, so you're gonna leave. Good God! Snagging stuff in the back of my boat. Don't mind me. I'm just learning how to fish, apparently. Roberto, welcome back to the stream. Joshua, welcome to the stream. What bait am I throwing? We're using a Bandit 100. This is a fire craw color-ish. I don't know what the color is actually called, something like that. It's a shallow diving crankbait. You'll notice the square bill on it. Dives to about 2 to 5 feet. And we're fishing in about 4 foot of water here. We're really shallow, fishing underneath the bridge here. But the pike, lots of pike come through this area. Total Tech says you have a fire crotch lure. You might need to seek medical advice from a doctor on that one. Don't knock the bridge over, right? Now I think I snagged the pole holder on the back of my boat. I'm just kind of wildly casting here. I'm not really super paying attention to what I'm doing. Circle of Life, I dug a 1652 pine tree shilling out, 1690 standing colonial, probably the coolest coin ever. Dug across pond, they dig hammered Roman coins. Oh, that's so cool. Like finding true artifacts that's amazing. I mean, I'd be happy with finding just needled junk, but one of these days I'm driving to Montana and throwing nothing but, I'm coming for the donkey show, I know. PJ Tool Reel, can I get a shout out? Yeah, shout out y'all for PJ Tool Reel. I have no idea who you are, but welcome to the stream. Recent metal detector discoveries include the Mel Sunby Hoard, a large Iron Age find of North Yorkshire with over 800 items dating back around 2,000 years. That's neat. What sucks is most places, if you find treasure like that, you don't get to keep it. They pull some archaic old law that, oh, well, this is technically the property of so-and-so and blah, 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 and then they steal it from you and they put it in a museum, and I don't know what the hell ever happened to finders keepers. Rainbow trout are good eating too. Rosalinda, a lot of people like eating rainbow trout. I've never really cared for rainbow. To me, they're one of the fishiest tasting fish that I've ever eaten. I prefer Northern Pike. If a smaller Northern Pike, anywhere between 18 and 24 inches, 2 to 3 pounds basically. And if you bleed them well and you clean off the lateral line, the blood line on the side of them, it's a darker meat that's on the surface closest to the skin. They're one of the mildest tasting, and it's white flesh. It ranges anywhere from white to yellowish to pinkish. Never quite understood why there's the variance in color like that. I like to eat pike. I like to eat catfish. Walleye is pretty good too. But I don't like rainbow trout. I don't like salmon. Both of those trout species in general. I've never eaten a brown trout though. That's one I do want to try. I've heard brown trout taste completely different than a rainbow. I've never eaten a muskie. We don't have muskies here. We have tiger muskies. But I would imagine a muskie is much like a northern pike. They're probably pretty good eating. Again, if you harvest smaller ones and you properly prepare them. You gotta bleed them. If you don't bleed them, they are a really fishy tasting fish. And if you don't clean off the lateral line, the red, the darker meat that's underneath the skin on the sides, again, they're a very fishy tasting fish. But if properly prepared, they're delicious. They're absolutely wonderful to eat. Kind of the same thing with catfish. Catfish tend to have a lot of fat, like around the belly and the flesh. That meat is really, really fishy flavored. And while I love fish and I like the taste of fish, I don't like overpowered eat fish. It's kind of like when you eat venison, a deer or an elk. Some of them are very gamey tasting. It depends on what they eat, where you harvest them from. I like to eat the younger venison because they're not nearly as gamey as the older one. Fish are the same way. The younger ones tend not to have gathered up all of the toxic metals and all the crap that they store in that lateral line that makes them taste so bad. You like eating bullred's fish. Annabelle, welcome to the stream. How you doing? Alan, welcome back. Fish, that's why we had large panfish around here. That's why you wish we had large panfish around here. Bluegill and crappie, not those tiny sunfish at large. Yeah, they are the most ridiculously tiny panfish I've ever seen. I don't understand how there can be so many of them and them be so small. But on that note, have you ever, on Fishbrain, there's that pond in Helena. What the hell is it called? I forget what it's like. Helena's Large at Bend. But they have really good sized panfish there. Really, way bigger bass. 8-9 pounders they're pulling out of that pond in Helena. It's a bit of a trek, but people always say bass is good. I've never eaten bass either. In England, metal detectors have legal obligation to report their find to local coroner within 14 days of find or releasing. It might be classed as treasure, so the government seizes it. Ah, jeez. Nope, I say finders keepers. If I dig a hole and there's something shiny in it, I'm putting it in my pocket. Y'all ain't having it. It's mine. Annabelle, I love fishing too. I think most of the people that are in here love fishing. If you like fishing, hit the thumbs up. Do that for me. Hit it. Do it. You know you want to. Well, we're a half an hour into the magic hour here, and we had one bite like right at 4 o'clock, and they're, I don't know, they don't seem very hungry. Appreciate that, Josie. Look at that. No, nobody actually hit the thumbs up. Why do y'all hate me? Why do you hate me? It's not nice. Bass are in the panfish family, and those are some of the best eaten fish, period. Huh. Oh, I'm thinking sunfish, or not panfish. Yeah, I've never eaten a bass. I've never eaten a brown trout. I hear brown trout's really good. I think I've only ever caught about 5 brown trout in my life, though, so. And most places around here, you're not. Brown trout has weird regulations in Montana. Like, you can keep them in some water bodies, you can't in others. There's size requirements in some to keep them. Like, they got to be so big in some places to keep them, but they got to be under so big to keep them. And a lot of the water bodies here in Montana, you can keep them only if you're an angler like under 14 years old. There's so many silly laws about brown trout. Anytime I get a brown trout on the line, I'm like, I have no idea if I'm supposed to be able to keep this or not. It's going back in the water. Brown trout are more mild than rainbow. They're so pretty, though. I hate killing them. Yeah, they are. They're one of the prettiest fish. They had browns. There's such variation in the colors on them. That's something I've never been able to get over. Like you could pull 10 brown trout out of the Missouri River, and they could look like 10 different kinds of fish. Like the colorations, the patterns, they're just all so different. Sometimes you pull them out and it's like, is that a brookie? Like, they're just bizarre how much variance there is in the colors and the patterns. Oh, there we go. We got 2 thumbs up. Thank y'all. This has to be Eugene, Oregon. Elliot, welcome to the stream. Nope, we are actually in central Montana. This is Great Falls, Montana. Crow says, I'm going fishing at the creek today. It's fine if I have a smaller hook. Yeah, I've never done a whole lot of creek fishing, but most fish, I think, that are in smaller creeks like that are smaller fish. Start with a small hook, and if you end up not getting hook sets and thinking it's because your hook's so small, work to a bigger hook, but I would definitely start with small. Go like, you know, a size 6 or a size 4. Rosalinda says, I like eating seafood. Yeah, most seafood I do like. I mean, crab and lobster, and I don't know, I don't get too much into, man, there's some weird stuff out of the ocean that people eat. Some of them, you know, like the clams that look like penises, and I don't know, some of the weird shit. What are the spiny looking things? Urchins? Is that what it is? They like have the barbs on them, and you crack it open and there's just weird oozy stuff. I don't know. Some of that stuff just does not look appetizing to me. But I do like, you know, lobster and crab, and clams are all right. Love sushi. I don't know. I've tried octopus. I've tried squid. I didn't really care for either of those. You're a bot at life. Crow, I use as the smallest hook I have and catch some of the biggest fish in the pond. Hey, more power to you. I usually oversize my hook. I try not catching dinks usually. It gets frustrating sometimes because you get so many missed hook sets. But the little fish, I don't know what it is about little fish and scarfing down your rig. I have more failed releases on little fish than I do bigger fish. It's hard to get the hook out of a little fish without hurting it. Flash says, my wife and I used to catch and cook our own blue crabs in Florida. Oh, heck yeah. We had fun in Florida trying to catch the crabs. I don't think we ever managed to catch one, but you throw your rig out and the water is so clear that you can see the crabs grab onto it and they start picking at it, and you're, you know, trying to ease it in, and you get it like right to the edge of the shore and lift it up out of the water, and they take one last bite and then they just let go. Damn it, one of these times I'm gonna get you. Yeah, blue crabs are good though. The Chinese, I think everybody likes seafood. SoCal, if y'all haven't done so already, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Heck yeah, appreciate that, SoCal. I haven't checked to see if we've gotten any new subs today. We had a good stream yesterday. I think I ended up with like 46 or 47 subs. Good number. We're crawling up there slowly. What game is this? I don't know. It's called Wanna See My Rod. That's the game. I subbed. Appreciate that. Agripino. I probably just butchered that. We'll call you AG. Appreciate the sub. Appreciate the support. I hope you enjoy the fishing content. I have not a whole lot of content on the page yet, but I do have some pretty cool underwater footage that I've been posting. And we do live stream quite often, so if you like to watch people fish, not necessarily catch fish, because we don't always catch fish, but if you'd like to watch us try, come hang out. We're on usually 2-3 times a week, sometimes more. Central Montana Fishing Simulator, there you go. God, what was that the other day? Apparently there's a big thing of like farm simulator where they like legit, they'll have like the most realistic maps of different places in the United States, like legit to the, you know, the structures on every plot, and it's like a farm simulator, and apparently people are like super into it. I don't know if it's just farmers that play the farm sim, but I was watching something and apparently it's like blowing up. You caught your wife on a willy waggler. Dang, man. That's one way to do it. That's Farming Simulator 25. It's insane how much shit you can do on there. Yeah, it was something like that. I was like, holy crap, like people actually are into this? But it was insane, like how realistic it was. Just how detailed the different maps were. I didn't play the game. I think I was watching some YouTube channel or YouTube video that was talking about it. But it just seemed odd to me. Farming sim, and they're on V25? Like, how have I never heard of this before? Flash a combine on a creek chub. I don't know which is more impressive. I don't know. I don't know. Someone call Black Spider-Man. I just watched Babe 2 Pig in the City for the 11th time today, and I'm about to eat 7 cans of beans and 14 shrimp to celebrate. Big City Goose, welcome to the stream. That sounds like bullshit, but welcome to the stream. Alright, I need a drink. I talk too much on these streams. It's like my throat and my... Not like blabbing to yourself for 12 hours straight, sleeping for a little bit to come back to blab to yourself for another 8 hours straight. Yeah, what Rat Teo said. Please don't drugs. Kids, don't drugs. Adults, don't drugs. Drugs, bad. Don't drugs. Oh. I don't know, man. These fish today are, they're not digging what I'm throwing down. We might have to switch her up here. My comfort lure here, the old Bandit 100, is letting me down right now. Don't drugs, do junkum. Whatever that means. Alright, we're doing it. My friend, the Bandit 100 here is being at least temporarily retired. I'm gonna let y'all pick what we fish with next. Any suggestions? We've had 3 hours of me throwing bandits and zero catches. So we're gonna let you guys pick. How do I do? See, this is where I wish I have Nightbot. Nightbot is in here somewhere. I just have not yet configured any of the commands for it. I don't know how to do a pull. Someone strap some goggles with a spear gun. Don't get caught. Switch jigs. Should I just do a jig and a rubber? That is actually what I caught that 22 pounder off in here. Was just a simple jig and a paddle tail spinnerbait. We got one vote for the donkey rig, once for jigs, once for a spinnerbait. Next time I'm running from the FWC. I run into them everywhere. I swear to God, they follow me around. Every fishing hole I go to, I seem to have an encounter with FWP. They're out in force this year, I tell you what. Eeyore. A jig would be smart, let it sit for a while. We could. I have not yet. That's one thing we didn't really use yesterday. And I have had, other than, you know, the monster that I caught, I have had fairly decent luck with just straight jigs down here. It's not something I bust out often though. I don't know, I've just never really been much of a jig fisherman. Ned rig. In England, the eels in certain rivers near music festivals test positive for drugs because of people peeing in the water. I've heard similar stuff to that. All right, I don't have a huge jig selection, but we got, let's see here. We got the Goggle eye. It's the chartreuse in purple. It's got rattly in it. It's one of the most common ones that I'll pick. And it's just rounded. I got like the fishy head shaped ones, and it's got the more forward facing. Similar white ones. We got some with bucktails on them. I picked these ones up recently. I forget what the hell they're called. They have this weird lip on them. Am I Omni-Man? I don't know who Omni-Man is. We have some with like some brass with some spinners on it. I have, I guess, a pretty decent selection. We have some floating jig heads. Same ones in orange. The chartreuse fish head. This guy. I think that's the one you were talking about. Steve Bessing, chatterbait ripoff. Kinda, not really. Hector, welcome to the stream. We're fishing for Northern Pike. There's also walleye in here. All right. What kind of rubber should we go with? I have a small selection in here, and I got a whole bunch of different ones in my bag. What are you thinking? Paddle tail, swim tail, more of a fluke looking one. We have smaller paddle tails. I have worms. I got all sorts of different ones. What I caught that behemoth on, the 22.5 pounder, was on one of the Goggle eyes here. This guy and this guy. That caught me a 22.5 pounder. Swim jig. Yeah, these are, it's a little big for that. Let me see if I have some smaller ones in my bag here. Annabelle asks, have you ever caught a muskie? We don't have muskie, we have tiger muskie here in Montana. They're stocked in very few ponds and reservoirs. I did have, last year I caught one. I didn't get it netted though. I got it next to the boat, and it was thrashing around and I lost it while I was trying to get it in the net. So I officially have not caught a tiger muskie. Almost though. Oh God. For someone who doesn't fish with jigs and rubbers, we got a few to pick from. We got creature baits, we got, oh God, all sorts of crap in here. What about one of these guys? Do you have trolling motor to fish the bank? I troll with my my jet motor, my old Evinrude. I don't have an electric trolling motor, unfortunately. My dream fish right now is a walleye. I don't know where to catch one though. I want to cook one up pretty bad. Right here, down at Broadwater Bay, it's full of walleye. I caught a 30-incher, almost 30-incher last year. I don't know how to catch walleye though. I've usually caught them by accident or, you know, as a bycatch. Everybody keeps telling me small crankbaits in the shallows, that down here you can clean up on them. Small crankbaits in the shallows. Another place, if you go to the causeway between Lake Helena and Hauser Reservoir, and just fish with a bobber and a leech. Worms. Oh, I got too much crap. So many different creature baits. There we go. That looks more appropriately sized. Kitech Easy Shiner 4-inch. Hi Skeeter. Everybody welcome Skeeter. Skeeter's new here, guys. Hi Skeeter. Beetle the Magnificent, welcome back. How you doing? Oh God, guys. Want to put it in my mouth to hold it for a second. That is greasy. What do they put on these things? Hi Skeeter. Welcome to the stream, Skeeter. Heard huge muskies are hard to catch. Yeah, they're quite picky apparently. Chapstick, that's what they put on them. They come from the factory dipped in chapstick, huh? How you doing today, Skeeter? You having a good day, buddy? Probably so they don't dry out. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I just held it temporarily in my mouth, and it's like greasy. It's just not what I was expecting. Alrighty. Just giving you a hard time having fun with everybody. I know. It's actually mineral oil. Oh, okay. God, I don't know. Sorry, I just had a weird deja vu moment. I feel like I've lived this moment before for some reason. Alright. Sergeant Patrick, welcome to the stream. Benavido said hi, welcome to the stream. How is everybody today? We're still out here trying to catch a walleye. But yeah, Flash, you don't have to go far to catch a walleye. If you come down here to Broadwater Bay, it is supposedly full of them. You just got to figure out how the hell to catch a walleye. I'm not I've caught like 5 or 6 in my life, and they've all. I mean, I would not call it skill. It's never been a species that I was actually targeting. I catch them, you know, when I'm trying to catch pike. Gonna YouTube the strat tonight. I've watched so many videos on how to catch walleye, how to troll for walleye. Every time I try and follow one of the guides on how to catch them, I don't catch them. I literally, so Lake Francis is another spot that's really good for catching walleye. And I've been up there a couple of times, and I sit like right next to these boats that are pulling in walleye one after the other. I'm watching what they're fishing with, how they're fishing, and I'm over here, you know, mimicking and copying. They're pulling them out left and right, and I'm catching nothing. I don't know. Walleye just don't like me. The only place that I've been able to catch walleye on purpose was Fort Benton. There's a spot that I fish by the lagoon there. But again, I catch them off the same thing, what I was just throwing, that Bandit 100. They'll bite on that crap all day. But again, down here, I've never caught one off of it. I think it's just I'm not fishing the right locations. It's one of those fish that you gotta figure out where they are and then throw at them. Just right. My mic still? Yeah, it just flashed on my screen and then it came back. It's back, okay. So let's switch things up here a little bit. I'm gonna anchor up. Let's go upstream a ways and let's drift fish. We'll cast towards the shallows, we'll cast towards the pools, but let's get upstream here a little ways and just drift fish. After I throw to these bubblies over to my side here. Here, fishy, fishy, fishy. Oh, maybe a couple of casts here. Oh, the hell did I do that? Wind knot. Look at that, guys. That's a gnarly one. Good Lord. Not quite sure what I did to deserve that one. Offended somebody's ancestors, I don't know. Alrighty. Ta-da! Now where's my sticker? I feel like I deserve an award for that one. I know we're in shallow water. We've been in shallow water. Why does the fish finder need to remind me every 30 minutes that, hey, you're in shallow water? If you didn't know, you're in shallow water. Oh, by the way, did you realize you're in shallow water? No, fish finder, I didn't know that. It's not like we've been sitting here for 4 hours or anything. Beetle the Magnificent. I've been loving your stream, bro. I appreciate that. You would have cut it. Hey, we just David Blained our way out of that one. Have you guys, speaking of which, God, have you guys heard of David Blaine? One, he's a crappy magician from like the 90s. So one, have you heard of David Blaine? We have some people in here that, yeah, I freaking Houdini'd my way out of that one. But okay, so one, have you heard of David Blaine? And if so, have you seen back in the, I don't know, it was the early 2000s, there was a YouTube series where somebody was parodying David Blaine. And it's, God. So there's this guy who's parodying David Blaine. He walks up to these two guys on the street and he's like, he does the whole, like, he looks at the camera and he's like, hey, you guys want to see some magic? And they're like, oh yeah, yeah. And it's like these two like obviously feminine, like gay men. And he starts doing this shit and he's like, you know, check your pocket. And the guy's like, what do you mean check my pocket? I didn't put anything in my pocket. And he like pulls out and there's like an ace of spades. But he progressively keeps doing these tricks on these guys. And it ends up being like, he keeps making things appear on their body, in their pockets, and the guy's like, David Blaine, stop putting shit on my body. It's it's one of the most hilarious series of videos I think I've ever seen on YouTube. But unfortunately, I think the only copies of it that still exist on YouTube are like a copy of a copy of a copy that looks like it was recorded on somebody's VCR in circa 1987. They're just really bad quality. But if you look it up, it's called David Blaine's Street Magic Parody. I think there's 3 videos of it. And it's some of the funniest shit I've ever seen in my life. Oh yeah, David Blaine, Chris Angel, I hate all those. All of those tricks they do are all so staged. Those audiences are all plants. It's just so cheesy. But that David Blaine Street Magic series, it's so funny. Back to work, keeping one headphone in so I can hear you, but probably won't be taping. All right, Flash, no worries. We'll be here. If we catch something, you'll hear it. Hey, Rod, you're in shallow water. Just remind you, right? Technology these days, I don't know sometimes. It's like there was one time I was taking a trip from when I was living in Cali. We were going down to San Diego Zoo from Costa Mesa, Newport Beach area where I lived. And we pulled into, I think it was Oceanside, California, to stop at the gas station or get something to eat. But anyways, long story short, we were leaving, we were trying to get back on the freeway to head back down to San Diego, and it was one of the first times that I'd been there, so I didn't know where the hell I was going. I'd never been to Oceanside, and my GPS in my car is like, take the next left. So I turned left. Take the next left. I'm like, all right, take another left. GPS is like, take the next left. I'm like, all right, you know, I don't understand how this is gonna work. It was just circles. Left, left, left. I had to drive like 5 miles out of the way to get it to recalculate and actually get me out of there. There's shit, times like that where it's like, man, as much as I love technology, I really hate technology sometimes. Like, it's just so stupid. Did you know you're in shallow water? We're raining again. I don't know if you guys see this. The clouds came just as I was about to go out, and we were going to adventure out from being trolls underneath the bridge here. Recalculating. Yeah, I couldn't get it to. It literally, I went, you know, in a full circle, and when it told me to take the 5th left, I'm like, all right, man, I'm not doing this today. So from what I was just reading, the confluence right there is supposed to be stellar for walleye, bouncing a jig off the bottom in 8 to 15. Yeah, well, that's right there. And there is, so it's really shallow right where the two meet, but on the Missouri side of the confluence, it does dip down. I wonder if that's right where they're talking about. Let's float down there. Let's see. SoCal, I appreciate you doing the research for me, my friend. The confluence. It's where we were fishing yesterday for a while. I was running crankbait though, not a jig. And I do still have some leeches in the cooler. Now, yesterday when I pulled up, right as I was getting ready to start the stream, I had just put the boat in the water, and there was some other guy with his family pulling the boat out. And I was trying to set up the phone to start the stream, and I heard a voice, you know, coming from behind me. He's like, "How big do they have to be for you to keep them?" I didn't think much of it, and he said it again. How big do they have to be for you to keep them? And I turned around and realized he was talking to me. I'm just like, what do you mean? How big do they have to be for you to keep them? He's like, "Oh, I assumed you were hunting for a walleye down here to mount." I'm like, no. I mean, I'm down here. I'm looking for walleye. I would love to catch a walleye down here, but I'm not looking to catch one to mount. I was like, I have caught some decent ones down here. I caught, you know, it was almost a 30-incher and a 6.5 pound-ish last year, and immediately he was just unimpressed. He's like, oh, I catch 10-pounders down here all the time. I'm like, damn, dude. Cool. Have a nice day. But it's just weird. Yeah, Didn't introduce himself, didn't say anything, just randomly, how big do they have to be for you to keep them? But they're in here. Say, I mean, he said he'd catch 10-pounders all the time. Oh, here come the waves. Yeah, he didn't like my 6.5 pounder. Apparently it's not big enough. 6.5 pound walleye's not impressive. How big are walleye teeth? They're like a pike. They're big. They're not quite as gnarly as a pike, but they're pretty gnarly. And most people here don't use leaders with them. I don't understand that. Hopefully we can catch one. I'll show you. But the few bigger ones, they were substantial teeth. You wouldn't want to get bit by one. Okay, we're floating into the